In today's So You Want to Be a Digi-tuber, I cover the how. And if you found this video informative, do consider liking the video, subscribing to the channel, and hitting that notification bell for my future content. For today's episode, I'll cover the following topics: webcam, microphone, and software. You'll find a lot of content creators saying use your phone, use any webcam, whatever, just start shooting. And while you can take this approach, there are a number of variables to consider. Number 1. From the previous episode, what are you wanting to do as a content creator? The what can be a huge decider on what kind of equipment you need. And while an iPhone can be the simplest tool to record your videos and capture your audio, if you're doing deck profiles, simply having a place to hold the phone that looks down on a table can be enough for what you're doing. If you have an extendable arm that you can put over a table, even better. Or maybe you're playing games with your friends. Some people want the over-the-top view, and some people are okay with the slight side profile. But ultimately, make sure what you record and throw up onto a YouTube channel aligns with your values from the why. Why are you doing what you're doing? Is it educational? Is it entertainment? Is it your own personal vlog? Quality of video can be important to some viewers. Maybe they want to see the cards. Maybe they want to see it in crystal clear in 4K definition, down to each pixel in its glory. But by posting a video at 144p and a jumbled mess of pixels, there's going to be a trade-off in what you record. For my deck profile videos, you may notice I do not simply do a camera over a playmat. While this is the standard in the Yu-Gi-Oh community and a lot of Digi-tubers also do this method in deck profiles, Huang0, link in the description below if you haven't checked out his work, definitely inspired me to use the big picture method and go over the card by card. With the big picture method, you can look at how cards interact with one another. In addition, you can obtain very high resolution deck profile exports from websites like Digimon.io and Digimon.dev, which means you control the resolution at all times. Crystal, clear pictures. I started with a cheap Logitech C920X HD Pro webcam that currently sells on Amazon for less than $80. Your phone can also be used. But now, I have upgraded to a Logitech Brio 4K webcam. Not only does it help with the content creation, but when it comes to online play, my cards are more discernible for my opponent. My recommendation is to start with a 1080 resolution. That's the bare minimum, by the way, and I would try to record it at that. But while video and footage is also important, ultimately in my research online for content creators in general, sound is probably your deciding factor. The best thing about YouTube videos is that you don't necessarily have to watch it. Some content creators simply use pictures and visuals to supplement their audio, i.e., this is what I do. And again, I'm not saying you have to buy expensive audio equipment because everyone starts at a different place. But audio on your video can be the difference between someone clicking off immediately. Not to toot my own horn here, but I've had many people give me feedback that I have a good narration voice. However, voiceover is something that I have been pursuing over the past couple of years. I started out hating my voice and not liking how I sounded. But doing content creation has taught me to accept my voice, especially because I do all the editing myself. One major difference between recording audio and video at the same time is you'll catch breaths or little hiccups in your speech. You may notice I don't have a lot of that in my videos, because I edit them out. Does it sound like I speak very well? That's the magic of editing. But in the recording booth, sometimes I will have to run a line not once, but several times before I feel it sounds good. Other factors that I deal with on the daily are cars driving by, children screaming outside, and dogs barking. And this is where you have to coordinate recording times at the crack of dawn or late at night. But after you've recorded the audio, you can press play and listen to what you say as you perform all the actions. Sometimes you get tripped up laying out the cards and talk about them at the same time. This will provide smoother transitions to your video if you don't do any form of post-editing. When it comes to using background music, this is something you will need to experiment with the software. Some people like no background music and find it distracting. Others, like myself, find background music can be appropriate, but at the right decibel level. Making sure the background music doesn't overtake your audio is very important, and something I play with every day. But enough talk about audio. What are the equipment choices out there for you to use? For starting up, I used a Blue Yeti microphone when I first started pursuing voice acting. I've taken classes from well-known anime voice actors in the industry from Steve Bloom, Sonny Strait, and Chuck Huber, which is where a majority of my training and background comes from. But there are many types of microphones to select from, and of course, software as well. If content creation is more of a hobby for you, you can also use your phone to record audio. Just make sure your environment is soundproofed to prevent external noise like your computer fans, if you have them, that can't be heard. The Blue Yeti microphone I used back in the day was used in conjunction with Audacity. When I made the upgrade, and by upgrade I mean major upgrade, I switched to a Shure SM7B, and the software Pro Tools, the voiceover industry standard. But you don't have to make these big commitments. You don't have to spend a crap ton of money on a new microphone or software. Because ultimately this video is explaining to you how I came to be the content creator I am today. And I still have lots of room to improve. Finally, software. What are software recommendations I have? Having an editor could save me a lot of time when it comes to making these types of videos. However, I currently do not have the means to pay an editor and would rather not exploit someone for cheap labor. Quick tangent and number one rule I have when it comes to working with other people. Really appreciate people and value them appropriately. Don't take them for granted. Because of that, I do all my own scripting, recording, video editing, and audio editing. It's basically a second job, but a job I am passionate about. When it comes to software, you'll want to try and use as much free software as possible in the beginning, because it's free. Audacity is a great starting point for audio if you're moving towards this route. With video, I started with VSDC Video Editor, which there is a free version, but I ended up paying for the premium cost. But do keep in mind, free software has limitations or caveats. You might have a watermark on your video, which honestly kinda sucks. But establishing a strong foundation on your channel will help you grow better if ultimately you want to make content creation into a full-time job. While I have stronger content than I did 2 years ago, I started out wanting to do very different things. Editing was subpar, but voiceover was probably my strong point then. And while for software I don't have a lot to really go over. The reason why I don't is because you can explore a wide variety of software that's available on the internet. Every person is different in what they want to do for functionality. I hope this video gives you some guidance on moving ahead on your content creation journey. And again, while I'm not a big YouTuber, growing a channel to 1,000 subscribers is no easy feat, and I consider it an accomplishment in my own book. This is Digi-Panda, logging out.